Celebrity interviews are supposed to be safe territory. A few laughs, a plug for a new project, maybe a viral moment if things go well. But sometimes the atmosphere shifts. A question lands wrong, a joke misses, a nerve gets touched, and suddenly the interview doesn't just get awkward, it turns hostile. These moments linger because they expose something rare, the thin line between performance and reality. When celebrities stop acting and discomfort takes over.
Are you... Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Do you...
Do you feel okay? It's just getting a little dinosaur in your...
No, look, I don't want to do that.
Thank you.
Robert Downey Jr. walks out on a British journalist. In 2015, Robert Downey Jr. sat down for what was meant to be a routine press interview for Avengers: Age of Ultron. The interviewer, Krishnan Guru Murthy, began asking about Downey's past struggles with addiction and incarceration. Downey's tone changed immediately. He questioned the relevance of the questions, asked the interviewer to move on, and when the probing continued, he calmly removed his microphone and walked out. The moment shocked viewers, not because Downey was aggressive, but because of how controlled his exit was. He wasn't angry, he was done. Later, Downey explained that he felt ambushed during what should have been promotional press. The incident sparked debate about journalistic responsibility versus celebrity boundaries, and remains one of the most referenced interview walkouts of the modern era.
Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
Tom Hardy shuts down a question about sexuality. At the 2015 Legend press tour, Tom Hardy was asked by a reporter whether he had ever engaged in sexual relationships with men. Hardy stared back, visibly irritated, and responded with a blunt question of his own. "What on earth are you on about?" The room froze. Hardy later clarified that he felt the question was irrelevant to his work and unfairly framed. The exchange went viral, sparking discussions about privacy, assumptions, and whether public figures owe personal disclosure. What made the moment uncomfortable wasn't just Hardy's response. It was the sudden realization that the question crossed an invisible line: live on camera.
Scarlett, to get into the shape of Black Widow, did you have anything special to do in terms of the diet?
Scarlett Johansson versus the male gaze question. Scarlett Johansson has faced countless interviews about her appearance, but during a 2012 press event for the Avengers, one question clearly pushed her past patience. While male co-stars were asked about character development and performance, Johansson was asked how she managed to stay in shape for her role. She immediately called out the double standard. Johansson asked why she was being reduced to her body while her colleagues were not. The interviewer stumbled. The room went quiet. This wasn't a meltdown. It was worse for the interviewer. It was a public correction, and it marked a turning point in how Johansson approached media interactions from then on.
Yeah, look, sometimes movies get intense. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm sorry about that.
Joaquin Phoenix's uncomfortable late-night breakdown. During the promotion of Joker in 2019, Joaquin Phoenix appeared on multiple talk shows, looking visibly uneasy. But one interview in particular stood out. When asked about violence and responsibility in art, Phoenix grew tense, apologized repeatedly, and struggled to articulate his thoughts. At one point, he appeared overwhelmed, saying he didn't feel qualified to answer. The awkwardness wasn't aggressive, it was raw. Viewers later praised Phoenix for refusing to deliver a rehearsed response on a complex topic. But the moment still stands as an example of how live interviews can become emotionally overwhelming, even for seasoned actors.
Thing is, he said grounded in reality. This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice, just like when I said slavery is a choice.
Kanye West and the interview that fell apart in real time. Kanye West has had many controversial interviews, but his 2018 sit-down with TMZ remains infamous. What began as a casual conversation quickly escalated when West made comments minimizing slavery. Staff members challenged him live on air. The mood turned confrontational. Kanye became defensive. The interview collapsed into chaos. Unlike scripted controversies, this was unscripted fallout. Careers were affected. TMZ employees later spoke publicly about the internal shock. It stands as one of the clearest examples of an interview going from promotional to catastrophic within minutes.
Pushing myself and taking myself out of my comfort zone, which is writing alone, and going and working with my heroes, songwriters that have influenced me my whole career.
Taylor Swift's frosty response to a dismissive question. In a 2012 interview, Taylor Swift was asked whether her success was due to writing about ex-boyfriends. Her smile faded. Swift calmly explained that male artists were never asked the same question, and that reducing her songwriting to personal relationships was dismissive. The tension was subtle but unmistakable. The interviewer tried to laugh it off. Swift did not. Years later, Swift would reference moments like this as motivation for reclaiming her narrative and public image.
You both have talked very candidly. It's a very famous story, infidelity in the marriage and how you navigated that time.
There's never been infidelity in our marriage.
Will Smith and the joke that went too far. Before the Oscars incident that dominated headlines, Will Smith had already experienced interview discomfort tied to humor crossing boundaries. In a 2019 interview, a host made a joke referencing Smith's marriage in a way that implied infidelity. Smith's demeanor changed instantly. He addressed the comment firmly, correcting the tone. The moment didn't explode, but it cracked the surface. It showed how jokes that play well in writers' rooms can become deeply personal on live television.
Very, very blessed, but my safety and my privacy and respect are three things that I feel like are trying to be taken away from me right now.
Britney Spears' 2007 interview spiral. One of the most uncomfortable celebrity interviews ever aired was Britney Spears' 2007 appearance with Matt Lauer. Spears was visibly struggling. Questions about motherhood, mental health, and paparazzi pressure piled up. She grew defensive, confused, and emotional. Looking back now, the interview is widely criticized as exploitative. What once seemed awkward is now viewed as evidence of a system that pushed a vulnerable person to breaking point. Live, for entertainment. Why these interviews matter. These moments endure because they strip away polish. They remind audiences that celebrities are not characters. They have boundaries, trauma, limits. An interview turns ugly not when someone raises their voice, but when dignity is challenged, context is ignored, or humanity is overlooked. The real lesson behind the awkwardness. Awkward celebrity interviews aren't accidents. They're collisions between curiosity and intrusion, between performance and reality, between power and vulnerability. And every time one turns ugly, it leaves behind something more revealing than any rehearsed answer ever could.